Welcome to This Week This Morning, the weekly video that gets you up to speed on the week's most important developments for your business and your taxes. This week, the most important thing that happened was that Senate Republicans finally released the draft version of the bill that they've named the HEALS Act, which did contain a few surprises. Keep in mind that everything I'm going to talk about today is subject to negotiation with Democrats, so don't take any of this to the bank just yet. That being said, what's in this bad boy? Let's take a look. Number 1, stimulus checks. These checks will be for the same amount as last time and will have the same income qualifications. As an added bonus, anyone who is listed as a dependent on your tax return will get you an extra $500 with no cap on the number of dependents. Previously, this was only true for dependents under age 17, and it was capped at 3 dependents per household. Number 2, unemployment benefits. The PUA would be reduced from $600 a week to $200 a week from August through September. Starting in October, total benefits, which would include the amount from the state and the feds, will be capped at 70% of your previous wages. And how that would shake out for 1099 contractors isn't immediately clear, since there are complications with how states currently pay their benefits and what would be considered wages for the 70% cap. Number 3, the Payroll Protection Program. A second PPP loan will be available under the proposed legislation for businesses with 300 or fewer employees who have had their revenue decline by 50% as a result of the pandemic. This would be in comparison to the same quarter in 2019. And businesses with existing PPP loans could add COVID safety-related expenses to their rent, utilities, and mortgage interests that can cumulatively represent 40% of total expenses for loan forgiveness. And better yet, loans under $150K would be forgivable simply by having the business sign a one-page form that attests that the money was spent on qualified expenses and that the business didn't reduce headcount or wages to an extent that would limit loan forgiveness. And this would be way easier than going through the current process, and quite honestly would result in many more businesses getting full loan forgiveness. Number 4, 100% meal deduction. You heard that right. Business meals that are purchased from a restaurant will be 100% deductible. The idea here is to support restaurants that have been disproportionately affected by the pandemic, as well as to provide more tax relief for businesses. Number 5, liability protections for businesses. Businesses will receive 5 years of liability protection for COVID-related events. This would be retroactive to 2019, but would exclude acts of gross negligence and willful conduct, or misconduct, I should say. And finally, number 6, the Recovery Sector Loan Program. Businesses that had a decline of revenue of 50% and are in low-income communities and/or are minority-owned or seasonal businesses are eligible for a 20-year loan at an interest rate of 1%. Notice the 50% decline in revenue requirement here, as well as the second PPP loan. This seems to be an important benchmark to keep an eye on moving forward. And as you'd expect, we'll continue to keep you updated as the negotiations progress, as there will certainly be modifications to many of the items covered today. We'll see you here next week, and until then, let's keep America's small businesses alive and well.